there, welcome to episode 17 of my playthrough of the SHADOWCRAFT pack. As a reminder, currently the pack is not available for play, mostly due to the fact that I, 1, don't have permissions to redistribute the mods, and 2, the main tech mods of this pack are still in active development. And that means that stuff will not always work right, or some things may just genuinely break your world. I've had to do a few things behind the scenes to keep stuff running along smoothly already, but I'm willing to do that because I enjoy the mods. But I could not recommend somebody to play this as their main world without having the understanding that your world probably will break, and if you don't know how to fix it, you will lose everything. Okay, so now that's out of the way. So last episode I set up a grinder in the roof of the tower over there, and I just realized looking over here that there is one brick that I used right there that is the wrong one. That's going to drive me nuts. Oh god. We're not going to deal with that though. We're not going to deal with that brick that's... No, we're not dealing with it. What we're doing today is we're actually going to go ahead and set up the ore grinding portion of the factory here. So we have the crushing. The crushing works great. The next thing we're going to do is set up the grinding, and to do that we're just going to be using these grinding wheels. I believe I have in the yellow bag. Here we go. Oh, I should get these out while I'm at it. Alright, so these are actually fairly easy. I mean, they're dead simple. It's, you put it down, the rubble falls on it, it gets ground into dust, and then that falls through. When it falls through, I need to get more hoppers, I think. These things are so freaking useful. Anyway, they fall through, and then they're going to get stored into another better barrel to be ready to wait to be processed either at the mixer or to be smelted to ingots as requested. The main thing that I have to actually work on, though, is that to get the item from in here to on this grinding wheel, I'm either going to need to set these up directly below the pistons, which is possible, but I really don't like the look of that. I want each step of this to be a separate thing that you can view and watch as it goes through. Or I need to get creative with block, what is it, droppers? They're just stop that. It's a vanilla block, so it's there we go. They're actually really easy to make too. It's literally cobblestone, I think redstone dust. So let's go ahead and put one there, and there. And to put this one up, I'm actually going to need to put a little bit more of the transport pipe up so I can place against something. There we go. Alright, so now these things, whenever they get a redstone pulse, they will drop an item. And it should more or less fall directly straight down. I'm thinking that's not going... I fear that there might be a little bit of an eccentricity to the way that the items fall. They're not always like dead center. They're a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. And they... tell you what, let's actually just go ahead, get a stack. We'll use this one. Do I have... No, I don't, but I can make a button. Yeah, look at that. It went a little bit to the right. Yeah, it's a little bit off. So what I'm going to have to do to make this work right is I need to actually set up a system to channel the rubble onto the grinding wheel. Now I'm thinking to make it look like a little visually interesting. What I'm going to do, besides move these up, one is I'm going to create a, for a lack of a better word, I'm going to create a casing to this. So instead of being open like this is, well, as open as this can be using the pieces here. So it's going to be set up so that when the items fall, that they can only fall down. And I think I might use a little bit of a water source block. It's not needed, but I think it'll look good behind glass. Alright, so even though I have this wonderful plan in my head, I'm running into the issue that I actually didn't get the materials I needed for that. So what I'm going to do right now, though, is I'm going to go ahead and set up the grinding wheels and make sure the droppers are in spot, and get out of my hand, cheeseburger. Okay, so these need to go up one spot. Alright, so we're there, so there. I really don't need the water source block, but I think it might make it look a little bit better. Plus, it'll ensure that if it's odd, or it should just make sure it flows down slowly instead of just flying anywhere if it's wrong. I'm actually also going to connect these all together. Because of the way that I want to power these, I should be able to make more than enough torque to do this. And I need there we go. Since the last time I made any extensive use out of gear shafts and the like, there's been a serious buff to their effectiveness. There should be much less loss using this kind of a setup than what I would have had previously. Alright, and I am also going to have something set up over here, going down. Alright, and that's actually where the power is going to be coming from, is down here. Alright, we'll worry about that later. Alright, so let me go ahead and go get the stuff I need to get this set up right, and I'll be right back. I've gone ahead and dug out a little bit of a hole here. If you notice, I have some of this large white stone brick from Mine Factory Reloaded. It's one of the materials that I'm considering using for the exterior of the top floor, but I'm definitely using it for this little basement area. Right now, this is only going to be big enough to fit the power thing that I'm doing down here. I am seriously considering, though, actually expanding out to make sure that I can have room to build other stuff once I get done with the factory processing up top. So I figured this would be like a good floor for, say, SHADOWCRAFT machines or any additional Mine Factory stuff that I want to set up that's just not going to be used out, say, in a farm. Anyway, for what I'm doing right now, though, is we're setting up a rather large water turbine. The ones I had done previously were 3x3. This one's going to be 5x5. One of the reasons that I have this set up like this, actually, is so that I could save a little bit on height. And that's not facing the right way. There we go. That's the right kind, but the wrong way. I might need to remove this line of clay. There we go. And we'll just do that all the way across. I might need to add another water source block, like right here. I'm not sure if that'll actually help. Anyway, so we're just going to go ahead and keep adding on. Since we have the bottom row installed already, let's go ahead and put this back. And we'll ignore the dinosaur outside that wants to eat us. Oh, this thing's going to be stupidly big. Alright, so general mode and the very center one, which should be right there. Holy crap, that's big. Do I have a multimeter on me? Yeah, I do. Alright, let's see how much. Let's see what this is actually doing. You know what? I can't see what this is actually doing because it'll be inside of the. Let's see. Anywhere from. Let's say 10 kilowatts of power. Alright, so that's okay. That's actually about on par with what that big, huge wind turbine's doing. Alright, so I may have a bit of a problem. Right down below, I have two of the 3x3 turbines down there. The 5x5 was not working out. I actually ended up getting more torque using the two 3x3 than the single 5x5. Plus, it's more power on top of being more torque. Anyway, so I have been doing some testing and stuff. Right now, this is all connected by gears. It's not doing so hot. And you can see why. Look how much torque we're actually getting up here. I believe that's almost 10 to 11, I think that's micro nanometers of torque. That is a very a very tiny amount of force, considering down here it's usually much greater than that. It might just be a bug. I might just need to let this get flowing again, because those wheels were not moving. So let's go back up top. I feel like I've done this recently. Alright, and back up top. Alright, so that's better, right? Except it's only about 50 newton meters of force. And that is still not enough torque. When I had the shaft running up the side here and going through all four of them, it was making nowhere near enough power. So what I think I have to do, unfortunately, is I'm actually going to have to use motors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide these into sections of 2. So the first 2 will be powered by a motor here, and then the second 2 will be powered by a motor over here. And I did not put that down right. Like so. So that when power is coming up into the motor, it'll power the grinding wheel to the left and to the right of it. That should minimize the amount of energy loss that I'm going to get, because I'm going to take an initial hit immediately at the point of converting it into electrical energy, but it should be much easier to actually transfer the electrical energy as opposed to using gears and shafts. The problem I'm going to run into is I need to make another motor. These things are, I mean, they're not terrible. They're mostly, they're just a bit of iron. So it takes 15 ingots of iron, 6 of which need to be made into steel, a little bit of redstone. So, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's, I don't know if I have that much iron at the moment cooked up. Most of my iron is currently stored as rubble and dust, and I should have more than 2 there. Oh yeah, I left it in the dropper, didn't I? There we go. It's a great way to freak out, forgetting what you did 10 minutes ago. Alright, so I actually need to go ahead, and I need to redesign what I have down here. Got to get rid of all these freaking gears, and I suppose that's for the best. I mean, that should be better for performance for this general area. The less stuff moving and rotating on the screen, the better. However, I'm kind of sad that I couldn't just use regular straight up mechanical energy. So I am going to go make a motor and some copper wire and stuff, and I will be back when it's time to redesign the room down here. So it's been about a day. I've given myself a little break between trying to figure out what the heck was going to go on here. I've totally redone this again. I decided to go with a setup kind of like this because it actually, to me, looks better. I mean, I like the way the turbines here in the bank, they're just turning, and I think once we get this expanded out a little bit, it'll actually look really neat to have these in the distance just turning away, powering everything. The way this is set up, this actually could be modular. I could add more to this if I needed to. At the moment, I don't. And for the way it's set up, actually, I am getting a benefit from having the turbines butted together like this. I'm getting a bit more torque. It's not faster or anything, but it is giving more torque. I can actually go ahead and give you an example right now. If I go ahead and disable this wheel and the wheel over here, the torque should drop down a bit. There we go. It's going to flutter around about 1.2 thousand newton meters. And as soon as I put these back, it's going to go up back to an average of like 1.9. So I mean, it's not doubling the torque, but it is an increased torque, which is good. All right. The magic, though, is not happening down here. The magic is happening up top. All right, so let's go up the little ladder here. There we go. All right, so I have totally redesigned the grinding stations. I quickly realized that I was actually going to run out of room the way I had it set up. I needed to actually expand the area, so each of these takes a 3 wide chunk. You have motor, grinding wheel, and then a space here which is intentionally left blank. That'll be covered up by like cowling or something. I'll figure it out then. And if you notice for the first 2 here, these are pretty much set up ready to go, except for the pipe stuff up top. The basic idea for this is that I don't want to waste any power. As such, whenever there is not an item to be ground down, this wire right here is disconnected from the energy network, so it's not draining juice. Right now, that's of no real benefit since I have no batteries, but if I ever get to a point where I have enough materials to start actually like building battery backups and stuff, which will be happening soon, I'll actually be able to get a bonus, well, I'll be able to have a power reserve. So in case I have a particularly fruitful mining session, I'll be able to continue to actually grind stuff down without slowing to a crawl waiting for power to build up and process. Alright, so the way that this works, this is a, let's go ahead and turn that back on. This is a detector from resonant induction. What the detector does is whenever there is an item in front of it, it will emit a redstone signal. Let's just use this. Alright, so the side that has this single square on it is the side where it will look for items. I believe I might have some cobblestone on me, yeah. So let's go ahead and put some cobblestone in there. So as soon as this triggers, it will drop the cobblestone like it did. And now that this is detecting that there is an item in front of it, it is emitting a redstone signal, which you can see right here on this NOT gate. And I'm sorry, I'm not so good at explaining this stuff. Anyway, what's happening is the redstone signal is hitting the NOT gate, which is inverting the signal. So that means that this block right here, which was powered, is no longer powered, which is allowing this copper wire to connect to the one below it. If you notice, it just cut back off and it just cut back on again. What this is doing is it's allowing me to process one item at a time without worrying about the item despawning because it's waiting too long to process. It also keeps the number of item entities down as low as I possibly can. I will only ever have 4 item entities here in process, 1 for each station, so that's good for performance. The only downside to this is that the gates and stuff in Project Red don't work with microblocks, so I have to actually hide them with blocks. And on the back side here, I'm pretty much going to have to make like I'm going to have to expand the wall out without actually adding anything to the room, so I'm not too keen about that, but it does give me room to work. And I don't know why I left that there. Alright, so here we go, we have some sand. Actually, if you can't tell, I've been trying this for a while, that's why I have a lot of sand. I had to use the item droppers from Open Blocks instead of the droppers from Vanilla Minecraft. These will actually drop straight down, no variation. The ones from Vanilla, unfortunately, have a bit of a cone of fire, for lack of a better term. They can go down, they can go like down and up, down and to the left. It's just not reliable. If it were a bit more reliable at dropping, I'd use them, they'd be fine. These though, these are better. Which is quite good for me since I only installed Open Blocks to get rid of hecates. I do like that I have these. These are quite nice. So what I really need to do though is I need to set up the basic stuff to allow me to pull the ground down rubble from these systems here and to process it into the droppers to the grinding wheels. And then eventually I need to use some of this iron over here that I need to process to make some filtered hoppers so that I can pull the resulting dust into a barrel or some other storage system. The only downside to this is taking up quite a bit more space than what this did. So the barrels are pretty much going to be on the floor, so I can get over that. That or I can have them stuck out one. No, I'll do that. I'll have the barrels right there is where I have the barrels. Yeah, that works. It'll be on the same level. Okay. So what I need to do though, I need to go ahead and we'll do this as long as we possibly can without blowing anything up. Put some of this stuff, get the transport pipes, we're going to need junction pipe. We'll deal with the rest of that later. Alright, let's go ahead and go along the back for this. We're going to need routed, Alright, and we're just doing this to connect all of the barrels together, and we have to make sure we have the routed on the back of the barrel, since the route is actually what lets you interface with the inventory. And then we're just going to come right up over here and go straight up. And we're going to go up one more. Good. Now, since there is going to be an intersection right here, when these two pipes could go either forward towards the grinders or down to the barrels, we need to add in the routed interface pipe. We need to add in the routed junction pipe. Alright. The reason we're doing this is every time the item hits the junction pipe, it'll say, oh hey, I'm supposed to go that way instead. It won't go for the random chance of going left or right. And what we can do while we're up here, let's go ahead and add in all of the interface. No, you're not coming after me. No. Why do you have 97 health? Oh, I got his head. Lovely. Alright, so these all have the... Oh, it's lagging just a little bit. Might be getting a lot of spawns happening, actually. Oh, that guy's pretty quick. Get off my wall. Alright. So each of these have a routed interface pipe now, that's good. I actually need to make some stock keeper cards for these things, so they're not going to work quite yet. Holy frickin' ants. You know, maybe doing this at night's not such a great idea. In what is a great twist of luck, I actually did have the materials to go ahead and craft up the stock keeper chip. Wow, that's loud. The only unfortunate bit is that I am now out of both lapis lazuli and glowstone dust, so there's unfortunately a trip to the nether for me in the future. I'm not looking forward to that at all. Anyway, so what am I going to do, right? I need to go ahead and add the item broadcaster chips, which should now be configured to... They can display everything because they're a single item inventory, so it's not going to matter, and these are set up protected, so it's like nothing else is going to be shoved in here except what goes in the hopper, so it's good. So we'll put that there, and here. Alright, so now what would happen is if we had a... Where's the orange pipe at? There we go, let's get one of these guys. So if we were just to come over here, pop that in, it shows us that we have all this rubble right here. So that means all of these other pipes, when I put the cards in, they'll be able to see all that stuff. So what we're going to do is we need to put responder chips and stock keeper chips. I've tried it before, and like I said, I thought you didn't need the responder if you had the stock keeper, but when I was doing the burger place over there, it required both. Just to make sure, I'm going to try again just using the stock keeper. So for now, I'm going to use these first two stations. We're going to continue the same pattern over here, which is iron, gold, copper, tin. So this is going to be iron and then gold. Let's go ahead and get, I believe, 1, 2 of each. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, open this up. Want to use iron rubble. And let's say keep a stack of 8 in there at all time. Yep. There we go. Refill when item's missing. Refill when item's empty. So we'll do that. So let's climb on up here. Okay, if we go ahead and put that in. So far, so good. Yeah, if you notice right now, it's not actually pulling anything yet, because I believe I have to put the responder chip in there. Though it is getting kind of laggy on my server for some reason. Oh, no, there we go. Yeah, something's causing this to lag just a little bit, unfortunately. Though it does look like the system worked. Excellent. I'm definitely going to need to restart my client, I think. But let's go ahead and set the gold one up too. So this is set to iron. We want to get rid of that. And we have 8 gold. 8 gold. There we go. And again, when items empty. All right. Alright, there's only one other thing I need. Let's go ahead and make some iron bars. I think I have a crafting bag. Yeah, there we go, crafting bench. And I know I have some more of these elsewhere. I will use them, but I gotta stop making these freaking things. Graded hopper. Alright. Oh, I didn't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell this to filter for iron dust as soon as we get some. And this one is going to be filtering for gold dust. Barrel. Oh, it's freaking out. Okay. Where did that stuff go? I think I lost my dust. Do I need a space for that to drop? I mean, if I do, that's not such a big deal, but that would be what happened to my dust? Alright, so this one's not gone through yet because I have yet to give it a timer circuit. You know, I know it's only 2 pieces of dust, but what the heck happened here? Alright, I'm also getting a ton of console spam of can't keep up, so I tell you what, I need to go ahead and restart my client and I'll be right back. As it turns out, it just needed a restart, so everything works great right now. I have managed to process up all of my iron rubble that I had over there. It's now currently as iron dust, and I have my gold dust here, also processed up, ready to be smelted into ingots. Right now I just have the copper and the tin I've yet to do. I just need to get the 2 motors, 2 hoppers, 2 barrels, and the 2 stock keeper chips. As soon as I get those, I'll be able to put those in and get that going. The next stage of the processing chain is going to be using mixers. I have to be completely honest, at the moment I have no idea how I'm going to do that. Processing directly into ingots at this point would be fairly easy. It's just a matter of inserting into a furnace and taking the ingot out. Not hard. Processing into the slurry to make the refined dust, that's got me terrified. As does the fact that that web appeared out of nowhere. What the? Rare toasting fire zombie of retribution. Oh, no, forget this. Alright, so before I end up a toasted marshmallow, I want to thank you for watching this episode of SHADOWCRAFT. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a message below. And as always, have a good day.